Hi, WFMers out there. I'm your host, Irina Mateva, and this is WFM Unfiltered, a podcast by Right WFM, the place where we share the truth about workforce management. So get comfortable and listen closely. Hello, hello, hello. Happy
Hi.
Tuesday. I am your host, Irina, and this is WFM Unfiltered. And today we're traveling around the area of Milton Keynes, UK. And I have a great guest with me today that's covering such an important topic, one that's in the foundation of absolutely everything, and it's around processes. But before we start with that, I would like to introduce you to Joan. Hey, Joan, how are you
Hi.
doing?
I'm good, thank you.
So, would you mind sharing a little bit about your background?
Yes, I started off in contact centers in 1983 as a advisor, and then worked as a team leader, contact center manager, and project manager within an outsourced contact center, also outsourcing contact center, I should say. And then I became a consultant, so advising companies on how to improve and get the most from their contact centers. And I do around 20% of my work in the National Health Service in the UK. So that's mostly project management activity, sometimes contact center related, but contact centers is my main baby. So that's the thing I like.
Okay, so we shared that baby together, I would say. And you have such an amazing career, and it's just so extensive. And the thing that you and I have chat about a little bit the previous time when we had a catch up was around processes and
Yes.
being a consultant as well. One of the things that usually really, really annoys me is you're having a lot of companies trying to just sell you tools and sell you bullshit and trying to explain you as a customer, just buy this one and it's gonna completely change your operations and business. And you and I both know that this is complete bullshit. So can you walk me through your practice? Why do you believe that processes should be in place before any technology or tool is being explored?
Yeah, sure. Firstly, I come from the principle of trying to make it easy for the customer to do business with your company and make it easy for the staff
Mhm.
to do their job. If you come from that approach, you walk the customer journey and walk the advisor journey, you'll find lots of things that could be improved. Yeah, lots and lots and lots. Yeah. And some may be small improvements, some may be large ones. Yeah. Well, what we need to do, right, is just listen to 50 phone calls or look at 30 emails that come into a company. You'll ask yourself questions. Why is that call happening? Or why is that email coming in? What didn't we do right further along the journey? So there's lots of improvements in customer satisfaction, efficiency, and so on that can be achieved without applying new technology. Yeah, so technology should be come at the end to get your processes right, and
Uh-huh.
then automate them and so on. Or
What sparks me and triggers me when you're mentioning the word processes is
yes,
that, and I believe this is what we discussed last time, is that whatever you're trying to do in your business and your organization, whether buying a tool, getting a consultant involved, it should always be led by the question, why? If it's
mhm,
just because we believe we need it, why?
yes,
Why do you think you need
yeah,
someone? Why do you want something new? And I think most organizations, especially around the hype with AI, is just something that everyone is talking about.
yes,
So you urge, we should be ahead of the game and we should do it as well. We should pay
yes.
money for AI. Why? What do we want to achieve?
But yes, people see technology, in my view, yeah, this is my opinion. People see technology as, oh, that's a nice, shiny new thing. If we do that, we will get more revenue, better results, less staff, and so on and so on. Yeah, which is fine. However, the thing that's normally right in front of people's eyes are what are we doing day to day, minute by minute, yeah, that could be better. And most people don't look at it. most people don't like looking at processes. Yeah, they think it's boring. Yeah, it's so actually well. If you go onto LinkedIn, yeah,
Yeah.
you hardly, and it doesn't matter who's in your feed. Very rarely do people say, look at better ways of working. Yeah.
And
Experiment with trying these steps in your process instead of the ones you do at the moment. Yeah. It's always about some new initiative, some new technology, something fancy, or it's something that's more creative. Yeah. This creative way of doing things. Yeah. Not about the nuts and bolts. Yeah. No, let's sort out the basics. Yeah? Get the basics to work really well. Yeah? And it doesn't matter if you're a high-end company or a not a fantastically high-quality company, but if you get it to work day in, day out, week in, week out, yeah, people keep coming back, and the staff will have a decent experience.
honestly, I love that you're mentioning that, because yesterday I had a conversation with absolutely incredible professional, and we touched on the marketing aspect of things. And it is exactly what you're mentioning. Currently, there is a lot of hype with AI and technology, and it's all wrapped up in fluffy marketing wording and bullshit. And it's basically what triggers people to buy and invest.
Yes.
But overall, no matter what you buy, if the processes are not in place, it's not gonna work. And from my perspective, I don't know from your experience and practice, but even if I'm talking about the WFM tools, and
Yes.
I'm going somewhere to implement a WFM tool, the tool is absolutely useless if you don't have a process. It's just
Exactly. Yeah.
sell that you pay a lot of money for,
Yes.
and it just doesn't do its work. And that's what people don't understand. And they are thinking, oh, but we bought the tool, we invested our
Yes.
budget in there. Why is it not achieving a service level of 100% all the time?
Exactly. And the same applies to CRM tools or AI and so on. Unless you actually set the groundwork up and make sure that you're doing the right things at the right time and so on and so on, it won't make much difference. It's just you got a nice shiny new car, but you're still stuck in a traffic jam. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, why are you not getting there faster? Because there's a traffic jam and I can't just do anything about it.
And there's always a traffic jam. Yeah, yes. There's always a traffic. So being in a shiny car, you get there, you feel more comfortable when you get there, but you still get there in the same time.
And the thing that I really relate to, and I feel, and I have been hearing so much in companies that I have worked with and for, is that the processes are boring. And somehow people are thinking, oh, if only you were to be more techie and we're talking about fancy stuff and important stuff and the next generation of stuff, it's going to be much better for the business. But that techie stuff and next generation technology is also built on something that you would like to achieve.
Yes.
And I feel like there is a lot of looking down on processes and people that are involved with process. So what do we do, John? How do we educate people about it?
Maybe motivate them by money. Because basically, if I said to you, I could make your customers 5% more happy and your staff 10% more happy and save you 15%, well, whatever figures. Yeah. I said to you, yeah, great. What's that? So fine. Look at what you do end to end and really look at it and ask the staff what it's like and what the problems are and what annoys customers, or ask the customers what annoys them and so on. Yeah. But really look at what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it and when you're doing it as well. And the answers are there. The answers are there in your company. Yeah? And you'll get 10% just like that.
So this is interesting because, and this has always been the conversation that I have with other fellow consultants, is we're often doing audits, right? Whenever I go for an organization, what I'm doing is show me what you do, show me how you do it, show me
Yes.
why you do it, so I can understand your thought process, so I can understand where your gaps. Maybe I can offer fresh set of eyes in your problem. But I always start with the investigation of
Yes.
why. And people always ask me, why do we need consultants for that? Can't we do it internally? Yes, you can. But there is something that I have discovered. Once you work in organization, people have those ideas, but they're like, it's always someone else's problem.
It's a problem. Or yeah, it could be someone else's problem. Sometimes you may find that people want to stay as the expert, so they won't pass that knowledge on to people. It could be, we've always done it this way. It could be that someone said, okay, we're going to bolt on this new system or this new block of processes, and not really thought it through in terms of what's good about it, but what slows us down or makes things worse, and so on. But really looks at the nuts and bolts of what they do. And it's having that outside eye, yourself, myself, or someone else, to say, actually, why don't you do it this way? Because why are you wasting time there or annoying the customer there when you could be doing something else?
So what do you do initially when you start working for a new organization? What is the first thing that you do there? How is your journey going with them?
Normally it's to look at what they want to achieve in terms of goals, ambitions, look at how they're structured and how they work. It could be numbers of staff, ratios, who does what. Listen to phone calls, listen to a lot of phone calls, and look at emails and the journey that different customers have been on. Lots of interviews with people. Normally, people will tell you what's working. If you ask someone, okay, you've got 3 wishes, yeah? What 3 things would you like to have to make your job easier or make it easier for the customer? And normally they ask for 10 wishes. Yeah? If you give them 3, they normally come up with 3 and more.
Yes.
Which applies to a director or an advisor. They know the answers. They know the things that will make things a bit easier or better. It's just they're too busy or they haven't had time out to look at it. Yeah, it's there. The answers are there. Yeah.
Or nobody's listening to them, which is
Yes.
problem. Yes. I feel like often involving consultants in the process,
Yes.
you are investing in that external expertise, so you feel forced to listen to their advice, which is, I would say, a shame because, as you said, the knowledge is there. Of course, you are getting much more advice and best practices if you're involving a consultant. But if you're coming from the position that your own people are absolutely clueless, then you have a bigger problem.
Yes. Yeah.
But,
So great example. I remember once I was managing a contact center as an interim, and the managing director came up from London. Yeah. And he said, Custer, could I listen to some phone calls? So I said, yeah, there you go. That's a mid-range advisor, not the best, not the worst. Sit with that person. And they listened to 5 or 6 phone calls and opened up their eyes as to what's going wrong at head office, the product offering, the processing time at head office, and so on, and the pain that it was giving to the customers. So I thought he'd be there an hour and a half. He was there for about half an hour. And he said, wow, thank you for letting me listen in. Yeah, he learned a lot just in half an hour. Told him a lot.
If only we pay attention to our own business, things will look much different.
Yes.
To bring you back to the topic of processes, one thing that bothers me, and it's actually probably the reason why processes as a concept is something theoretical in a lot of companies, is that you initially start with having something on paper or in a flow chart or something, and that quickly gets outdated and everyone is lazy to update it, to share it. You have new people, they're like transferring knowledge here and there, and you realize that the process that you have in place was somehow amend it into something different, and everyone has their own version of the truth, what they should and how they should be doing it. So,
Yes.
and to be honest, even for me, it is boring to put a process in
Yes.
place.
Yes. Mm.
I know somebody has to maintain it, and I know that
Yes.
people don't really like looking and maintaining things. They're much rather remembering and doing it their own way.
Yes.
So tell me, how do we get around that? What do we do?
How do you get around it? It's a good question. I think firstly, have a process owner or a group that owns process.
It's fountain.
So their job is to look for efficiencies and better ways of working and so on. Yeah. And they should use advisors, team leaders, directors, whoever to get that input and maybe give them an objective, such as, okay, I want % reduction in failure demand activity. In other words, calls and emails that we shouldn't be getting coming in. But give them a target that's achievable. Because the ideas are there. Just need to just get it out of people and also make it interesting. In terms of how you document processes, you can do it in a very boring step-by-step. It is a step-by-step way of doing things, but make it interesting if you can. Yeah, put in screenshots of how to use the system. Make it colourful. Make them usable. So when the training department picks them up, they don't have much to do with it. Yeah, because it's written in a nice way that people can understand, in a nice step-by-step, simple way. Yeah.
I love that you're saying that, because even now there are solutions that are making the processes much more interactive, that you can follow along and that can quickly update something that's instantly shared with everyone. Because my problem has always been, go to folder X somewhere and try to look, and then I'm going there and trying to look in it, and then I see version 1, version 1 of version 1, version 1 of version 1.
Yes.
And I'm always like, what the hell do I do with that?
Yes.
But thank you so much for starting with the process owner, because one thing that really annoys me in any type of work is when we have the concept of it everyone's responsibility to update it. If something is everyone's responsibility, it's no one's.
I guess that, yes, it's their responsibility to give ideas as to how to improve it to the process owner, in my view. Not to actually do the updating, but if they've got an instinct around what could be better and they've got some data, it could be anecdotal data or hard data to back that up, then that's a good case to put forward. And yeah, one of the projects I worked on was to roll out a knowledge management system across thousands of advisors, huge companies. And what that gave them was more consistent ways of answering technical queries. And what we did was we went out in training groups to different contact centers, and we didn't tell them how to do their job in terms of, you must press this, you must press that. And I said, we taught them how to fish. So we taught them how to find the answers and how to use the system. It's really easy. It's just really intuitive, nice and straightforward. Yeah. It was yes, no answers. Is it this? Is it that? You got a certain route. And within 5 or 6 clicks, you got the answers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. Yeah. So I could answer any, even though I wasn't trained in the product really, I could answer any technical question. And I got the advisors to say, give me a technical question, a problem you have. I showed them, I went through the system, asked them questions and said, here's the answer. So if you've got a well-designed process and a good knowledge management system linked to it, so they are always up to date and so on, you can get massive increases in performance. And what we got, actually, we had a test group and a control group. They both started off at the same average handling time. Yeah.
Oh.
They both started off. Yeah. Within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, the group that was using the new system, they had a 30% lower average handling time, and the team leaders of the test group, they were getting 50% less queries from their advisors. Now, how do I do this? How do I do that? Now, because any time they were asked, how do I do this? the manager, you should say, go to the knowledge management system. It'll tell you it'll tell you the answer. So, and yeah, it's huge. So if you actually invest in your processes, invest in a knowledge management system, look for ideas on how to improve it. Because one of the things with this knowledge management system, for example, was anytime an advisor went through the process steps, they could leave feedback to say, oh, adjust this, adjust that. And that was adjusted almost overnight. You know?
I love that. And this brings us back to the first issue about processes and the way that we document. The fact that in most organizations there isn't necessarily a process owner is that processes are seen as something that you do once, you build it once, and then forget about it. And that's where it all goes wrong.
That's right. No, you don't build it once. If you're a football manager or in any industry or any type of work, if you're a football manager, you don't just say, here's our formation and here are our tactics. Go do it. You don't say that once at the start of the season.
And you forget about it. You never show up.
Sit in the stand, you just watch. Yeah? You adjust. You know? You adjust what you're doing based on what you're facing. You know? And it's that ability to say, actually, it's not as good as it could be. What else could we do? And it takes owning up sometimes to say, and to being open to changes. You know? Plus, also, you'll get a lot more buy-in from staff in terms of how they feel about the work they're doing, because they feel as though they can have an effect on what they do day to day.
Yeah. Thank you so much for this tip, because again, we're forgetting that sometimes processes are created by people that do not do the job, and unfortunately, people doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's okay because they've got the capacity to do the design, but they've got to take the knowledge and learning from the advisors, team leaders, other managers, and so on, and to blend that into the process itself, and to keep doing it as well. Because once you do it once, things will change. The market will change. People's knowledge of the company will change. You have to keep looking at it all the time. You know? Always looking for those marginal gains. Yes, those very small gains. Yeah? You get lots of marginal gains, you win.
You're giving such a brilliant advice, and I was just about to wrap up using that exact same thought that you just mentioned, is that you can't put your processes once and forget about it, because that basically kills your business growth. And with time, even your customer behavior changes. We're talking about, I don't know how we're calling Gen Z, millennials, and so on. I'm not so knowledgeable about the different terminology. Even with generations, you have people that are using your products in different way, that communicate with you in a different way. So you can't rely on something that was okay 10 years ago and just enforce it to people, because this is also how you're making the word boring for people, and you're basically stupidifying your own operations this way. So that's my final word of advice. Any last words, any tips, any tricks that you would like to share?
No, so I think we've covered it all. I think that I know processes are boring, and it's not very exciting to talk about processes and what you do, how you do it, when you do it. It's not that exciting, but you can get a lot out of it, a heck of a lot, in terms of savings, better performance, better conversion rates, happier customers. I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
I think, John, we just need to start using better marketing for processes so we get people on board. That's the trick.
It's got a bad rep. It's boring. It's for eggheads. It's for boring people.
Well, WFM, and I absolutely hate it. When I hear someone saying WFM is boring, I want to make a gesture. Let me pull out the
Also, if you see something that's really well designed, I've had this a few times. I saw a process flow once, and just the way it was done. And I said to the person that designed it, that's a work of art. It's brilliant. It's like, it's so well represented, but anyone could understand it. Well, just a one pager. I thought, that's brilliant. And sometimes you see things that, it's practical, you can understand it straight away, and so on. And that's what gets me excited. I'm very sad, but that's what gets me excited because I know it's usable. You know, if I can understand it just by having a quick look, the advisors will, and the customers will as well.
Simplicity is the key. I've
Yes.
always said don't overcomplicate things more than it's necessary. So
Yes.
make it work, make it as simple as possible, and just socialize it with everyone. Don't put it just somewhere on the shared drive and hope people will find it. And that's it. That's a wrap for today process. I hope we're getting everyone on board saying how much important processes are. And thank you, John,
You're
for
welcome.
joining me on today's episode. It was absolute pleasure talking to you. And we'll chat again
Yes,
here.
thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. I'm your host, Irina Mateva, founder of Right WFM, where we believe that every business and its people are unique and deserve the right solution to their challenges. If you need support with workforce management, we're just a message away. Get in touch at irina@rightwfm.com or info@rightwfm.com. If you like the content and would like to support the show, please subscribe to WFM Unfiltered on your favorite podcast platform, leave a review, and follow me on LinkedIn. You can also show some love to our great sponsors. For more information about them, check out the episode notes. This is your place for real WFM, so to suggest guests or topics, get in touch at irina@rightwfm.com. See ya!